This happened to me. I didn't cause this. I didn't do it. This happened to me.
Rihanna recently had her third child, but she's already back in the spotlight, this time because of some serious claims she's making. She's reportedly accusing Beyoncé of hiding Diddy's behavior and even taking part in his so-called freak-offs. Fans have often wondered why Rihanna and Beyoncé never did a track together, especially since both had close ties to Jay-Z. Now, that mystery might be getting cleared up. Rihanna once looked up to Beyoncé and called her a big inspiration. But now, she rarely brings her up. Clearly, something shifted. On top of that, Rihanna had a rough time when she first entered the music world. It's been said that Jay-Z acted inappropriately with her when she was just 17, even going as far as locking her in his office. Back then, Rihanna thought she could count on Beyoncé and reached out for help. But she soon saw that Beyoncé wasn't. As supportive as she seemed, there are also claims that Beyoncé tried to push Rihanna into attending Diddy's unsettling parties. After everything she went through with both Jay-Z and Beyoncé, it's no surprise Rihanna kept her distance from them. Things started to make more sense when Freddie P., a former member of Da Band, shared a story that showed just how close Beyoncé and Diddy might have been. If you remember MTV's Making the Band, there was a moment when Diddy made the group walk across New York for hours to get a cheesecake. For years, people thought he was just being dramatic. But in a recent interview, Freddie said it wasn't even Diddy who wanted the dessert. It was Beyoncé. She had mentioned to Diddy that she was craving a specific cheesecake. Instead of asking her own team, she let Diddy send the group on the long trip. It took them 4 hours on foot. What seemed like a crazy reality show moment was actually just them doing a favor for Beyoncé. Freddie said she didn't seem to care about the effort they put in. She just enjoyed the cheesecake like it was nothing.
People don't know that cheesecake we went and got was for Beyoncé. She was upstairs the whole time. What we was talking about again? Hold on. Yeah, that's a fun fact. People don't know. People like, y'all walked and got a cheesecake. It was for Beyoncé. I'm the type of nigga. I listen to everything you say as if it's a contract. So if you say, walk to the store, or walk to get me some cheesecake, I'll walk to get you some cheesecake, but I'm not walking back. And that's just what me and Darlon did. And they like, why y'all, you know, they hot. Like, y'all cheating. And we like, he told us to walk. He didn't tell us to walk back. So we already in the hotel like 3 hours before they got there. When they said they was coming, we went and met him in front of the building. And you know the first thing that nigga said out of his mouth? That nigga said, he said, we got the cheesecake. He was like, I want that shit, take that shit upstairs for Beyonce. Then he said, they was like, yeah, man, we wanted to tell you, Fred and Darlon, they ain't walked back. You know, trying to be on some snitching shit. He's like, I ain't tell you.
When Freddie shared that story, a lot of people questioned why he'd go out of his way just to impress Beyoncé. Most assumed he didn't have much of a connection to her beyond the fact that she was Jay-Z's wife. But more recently, rumors have surfaced suggesting Beyoncé was involved in those wild parties too, the ones people now refer to as freak-offs. This came to light when the baby opened up about meeting Beyoncé and Jay-Z at a private gathering, hosted by Diddy. He said that at one point, Diddy cleared the room, leaving only the four of them: himself, Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and Diddy. The baby recalled that once they were alone, Beyoncé started chatting with him a lot. She even introduced herself by saying, "Girl, you are literally Beyoncé," which felt odd since Diddy and Jay-Z obviously already knew who she was. The way she said it made it seem like she was flirting with him. According to the baby, that party wasn't just a regular hangout, it was actually one of those freak-offs, and Beyoncé was trying to seduce him. It seemed like Jay-Z wasn't really involved or just wasn't reacting, so Beyoncé took the lead herself.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people, he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Mm-hmm. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know.
Right.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being, you know, two of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in
right
at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to.
Right.
Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop the whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was dope.
What he is
is a broke-down Mandingo fighter still working on behalf of the NFL. That's what he is. Period. You want to know what else I also find funny? That he did that interview with the baby person who sat there and told him about when he met Beyoncé. Y'all remember that? That happened on Shay Shay. And he talked about how he was at the Diddy party at Diddy's house. And how after, the festivities were winding down and it was getting later into the middle of the night, approaching 3 a.m., Diddy got rid of almost everybody, but he let the baby stay behind with him and his close friends. And then he talked about how Beyoncé was there and Jay-Z was there. Not at their house, at Diddy's house. And how Beyoncé presented herself to him, and she didn't have to do that because he knew who she was and he couldn't believe she was talking to him. But she approached him, kind of like how she approached that old friend of his when he said that he was at the party and the little people was there, and she asked him, "Isn't this sexy?" My. How illuminating. There's been a lot of freaking off going on for a long time. Why does everybody keep... Let me tell you this. Beyonce, Giselle Knowles Carter. It does not matter how much money they spend, how many people, those tickets ain't gonna sell. You're caught. I wish you had the common sense that animals do when they're caught. They just surrender. But no, y'all gonna fight it to the very end. Y'all gonna bring this broke down old NFL bum who apparently will do anything with his genitals to help cover or create validity where there is none with the weirdos. With his little orange purse. Screwing people's kids. Screwing kids young enough to be his grandchildren. Shame on you. You a dirty old man.
But things get even more disturbing from here. There are claims that Jay-Z and Beyoncé once tried to get Rihanna involved in those same wild parties. Some say this is what made Rihanna distance herself from the music industry. When she said no, rumors say they tried to mess with her career by leaking her anti-album. That's when Rihanna decided to take a step back. A lot of people think this is why she's so cautious about releasing new music now. She hasn't forgotten what happened and doesn't want to face it again, especially since her Fenty business is already bringing in billions. To give some context, Rihanna once really looked up to Beyoncé and even called her the biggest inspiration in her life.
Yeah, she actually wrote me this cute little letter, and she signed it with her autograph. It was so cute. When I first met her, and she wrote, she was telling me, just let loose when you perform and just have fun and be in control.
Their relationship began to break down as Rihanna's popularity started to rise in the mainstream. The more time she spent around Beyoncé, the less she seemed to admire her. Things really took a turn when Beyoncé appeared to take a jab at Rihanna in her song Bow Down. Fans weren't happy with that. Beyoncé had always preached about supporting and uplifting women, but in that song, she insulted them and told them to bow down to her. A lot of people saw that as fake and called her out for being two-faced.
Down B over and over from the woman who preaches empowering women is a bit unsettling to some.
I just feel like it's kind of, it's hard to swallow. Just very hard to swallow, having seen her in a different light.
I don't like it. I don't think it's her. I don't think it goes to what she represents.
I love Beyonce, but I honestly think that Jay-Z's putting thoughts in her head.
You're on a Pepsi can, for goodness sakes, to tell B words to bow down.
Beyoncé didn't admit she was wrong or step back. Instead, she got defensive and wouldn't apologize for coming at Rihanna that way.
The reason I put out Bow Down is because I woke up, I went into the studio, I had a chant in my head. It was aggressive, it was angry. It wasn't the Beyonce that wakes up every morning. It was the Beyonce that was angry. It was the Beyonce that felt the need to defend herself. And if this song never comes out, okay, I said it. And I listened to it after I finished, and I said, this is hot. I'm going to put it out. I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to just put it out. People like it, great. They don't. They don't. And I won't do it every day because that's not who I am. But I feel strong. And anyone that says, oh, that is disrespectful, just imagine a person that hates you. Imagine a person that doesn't believe in you. And look in the mirror and say, bow down, bitch. And I guarantee you feel gangster. So listen to that song from that point of view. Again, if you didn't like it before.
Rihanna was really upset and responded by throwing shade at Beyoncé on Twitter. She posted an article naming her the Queen of Pop in the UK and added a caption that said, "I only know how to be number one. I could use a challenge. How'd I feel down there on your knees?" A lot of people think Beyoncé's dislike for Rihanna started after rumors came out about Jay-Z being involved with her, but now, some think things got worse when Rihanna chose not to attend those wild parties with Beyoncé and Diddy. That might have added more tension between them. In case you didn't know, Rihanna's publicist once made up a rumor that she was having an affair with Jay-Z. Later on, the publicist admitted it was a PR move to boost Rihanna's song Pawn de Replay. She said, "It was reckless, and I didn't think it was going to work. I was just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what would stick." A lot of people didn't buy that excuse, especially after Rihanna shared that Jay-Z locked her in his office when she got signed. She said he wouldn't let her leave until she agreed to the contract, and she was still underage at the time. Some people believe Jay-Z might have done more than just pressure her into signing.
What's your audition with Jay-Z? Tell me what he said to you. A really good audition. Yes. But before I met him, I was so nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming.
And you had to sing a cappella for him?
Yes, I had to sing. I sang Pawn de Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time.
So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, we don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
So then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he did it one more.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure working with Jay-Z, you've met Beyoncé.
That's right.
How was it like meeting her?
I could not speak.
Really?
Really. That's someone I really looked up to for a long time. And it was after one of my showcases, and he was introducing me to everyone from the label. Then he finally said, okay, one more person. And there she was. And I could not speak.
And she gave you some advice.
Yes, she did. She just told me to, when I get on stage, let loose, have fun, and be in control.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to let it go.
No.
Because, she'd be like, what?
You remember earlier when we talked about how Rihanna may have upset Beyoncé and Jay-Z by refusing to join their wild parties with Diddy? Well, that theory has gained more weight over time, especially after what happened with Rihanna's Anti album. The album was leaked on Tidal, the streaming platform owned by Beyoncé and Jay-Z. This wasn't a small issue. It forced Rihanna to release her project earlier than planned, which likely hurt the album's momentum and impact with fans and critics. To make matters worse,